Hey guys, what's going on? Going to take a quick look at Hedera. Ticker for this is HBAR, and I'm currently on the weekly time frame. A couple of things before I get into the chart. Number one, if you're not subscribed and you want to get notified when I release these new videos, click subscribe, click the bell, click on all. If you leave without doing that, you may have a hard time finding the channel again, just because it's a new channel, relatively low subscriber count, and because of that, I'm not really prioritizing the search algorithm, right? So if you find this helpful and you want to see more of these videos, just click subscribe before you click away from this video. Also, if you want a place to trade HBAR and pretty much any of the other coins that I talk about on this channel, I put a link to 3 different exchanges in the pinned comment and the description. The first two, Bitget and OKX, they're both reputable exchanges, and they're offering you sign-up bonuses. But to trade on there, you'll probably need to submit. Actually, I'm pretty sure you're going to have to submit your personal information. I know some people aren't comfortable with doing that, so there's an alternative. If you don't want to go through a KYC process, check out the link for BingX. BingX is offering you guys 150 USDT to sign up. There's a criteria to get that, but it's very minimal compared to some of the other exchanges that I see to get the bonuses. Like, I know a lot of YouTubers will tell you there's a $30,000 sign up bonus or whatever, but what they don't tell you in the video is that in order to get that, you have to deposit hundreds of thousands of dollars on the exchange, right? So if you don't want to put that much money on a crypto exchange and you just want like a minimum criteria to get like a little bit of a bonus, check out BingX, 150 USDT. Okay, so HBAR, I haven't covered this coin in a few weeks because I took a couple weeks off because I was just coughing all day and I didn't really want to do videos and have to make 50 different edits in the video. But yeah, I haven't covered this coin in a while, but actually not much has changed since the last time I covered this. Now, if you had watched my previous videos, you would have already had all these levels marked out just based on my suggestions if you took it. And the price has been respecting it. So on a weekly time frame, I'll just go over these levels. So I have this downsloping level of resistance right here. This is still relevant. If the price pulls back, you can look to this being a potential level of support, this broken resistance here. So we had multiple touches. It price broke out, came back. And as I always say, when you break a strong level of resistance, more often than not, the price will pull back and retest it as a support. So you see here we had the breakout and the price came back down, retested it as a support held. And we're basically kind of moving on from this bounce, right? Now, in addition to this downsloping level of resistance, we have this upsloping level of support with multiple touches on it, right? So if you're going to trade Hedera, I highly recommend that you draw this trend line on your chart, right? So you can start it from here, connect the wicks here to here, here. So we have basically 4 touches on it so far. So this trend line is has a lot of significance. So if Bitcoin pulls back, maybe to around 31,500 or so, and if the altcoins follow, you can look to this level being a pretty strong level of support. And me personally, if the price does come back down here, not saying it will, then I will look to buy off this level and place a stop loss slightly below it. Okay, and you'll also notice that I have these these 3 horizontal lines drawn on my chart. So the first one, if you want to replicate this, I would, I would draw it right from the bottom of this wick here. So you see, actually we have a lot of price history here. So it was support right here, came down to it. It held a support for a few months right here. Again, when we came down to it here, we wicked off. There was a lot of buying pressure right here. So this candle closed above this horizontal line, and a lot of buyers came in to buy this. Now, being below it, this is the level of resistance that we're currently battling with, right? So if I zoom in here, look, the price came up right to this level and sold off. So we have this long wick. I'm going to take this down to the daily time frame to give you a better idea. So you see price came up, and of course, a lot of people are looking at this particular level. And when the price came up, sellers came in and took this short. And, for everyone who took this, it's playing out quite nicely, right? So now actually we are kind of at a support level based on the top of these 2 candle bodies here. However, this is only the daily time frame. This candle looks quite bearish. Bitcoin looks a little bit weak right now. It's probably due for a pullback. I mean, I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but would I want to personally enter a trade on Hedera? right here, no. So what I would do, as I mentioned, I would either wait for the price to come down maybe to this level here, right? The kind of like the low of this region for an entry on a long. And then of course, if the market does dump all the way down here, I will buy off this trend line that I just showed you on the weekly time frame. If the price comes back up, this is an area where shorts can be taken, but be cautious of that, because the more often we hit this level of resistance, the more likely it is to break, right? So the best time to take the short off one of these kind of historic levels is the first or second time it comes to it, right? You don't want to be taking shorts when it's hitting it 3, 4, 5 times, because as I said, the more times it hits, the more likely it is to break. Now, the first time the price comes up here in a while would be another opportunity for a short. However, I have to say that, we have broken a multi-year level of resistance. We've retested it. If this level holds and we break this horizontal level of resistance, coming up here, pretty high chance that we are going to come a lot higher. We're shifting from, of kind of like bearish market conditions to bullish market conditions. So take any shorts that you take with caution, keep a tight stop loss, and I would say have conservative targets, right? If you don't want to short when we're switching from bearish to bullish, right, and that's fully understandable, that's a good way to trade. What you can do is take longs. However, as I mentioned, I personally wouldn't long at the resistance. Where I would take a long here on HBAR is if we start closing, even daily candles above this horizontal level, then I would look to take a long, place my stop loss below this level of what is currently a resistance. If the price closes above here, will be a support, and I would long it up to this range right here. So actually, I'm going to mark that out for you and just see what kind of R&R this potential trade setup will get us, right? So if we're able to enter a long position right here, place a stop loss below here. So we'll just use this as our backstop, and then we can target this upper range here, this next trend line. That would give us a risk reward ratio of 1 to 4.29. So really good. That's a good trade to take. Risking 2.55% to potentially get almost 11% to the upside. Now, one thing I wanted to show you here, and this is why I placed the highest priority on the weekly time frame. So here on the daily, you see this level, the price was not respecting this level on the daily time frame right here on this cluster, right? But if I go to the weekly time frame, so you see we had multiple candle bodies closing above it, but if I switch this to the daily time frame, look at this. Look how this level was respected. This all ended up being a big wick. This is the level that the kind of like the market makers were watching. They sold it off come Sunday evening. They sold it all the way down, and we had 2 consecutive candle bodies closing below this level. So this is why multi-time frame analysis is so important. Okay, what looks like a breakout on the daily time frame. A lot of people probably saw this, got excited, entered, maybe leveraged long positions, only to get absolutely wrecked here on the weekly time frame and have this big sell-off, right? So always, like for me personally, I prioritize the weekly chart. But I do often, I'll use the weekly chart to kind of get like a broader macro view on a higher time frame about what's going on. But then, yeah, I could take trades on the daily based off what is currently happening on the weekly time frame. Of course, I just mentioned that if a daily candle closes above here, I can enter a long and target here. However, it is risky because, as you can see, the candles can come through it, but I'm going to have a tight stop loss anyway, so that's a risk I'm willing to take. I'll take, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 1 to 4, 1 to 5 risk reward ratios all day, right? Because even if I'm wrong half the time, I'm still profitable taking those calculated trades, right? Let's see here. Actually, there's something else I want to show you. I'm going to switch the chart here and just kind of give you like a recap of what has happened here. So yeah, we have broken out, but this here gave us a sign that the market was going to move upwards. This is called a hidden bullish divergence, right? So you see on the price, we have a low, then we have a higher low, but here on the stochastics, we have a low, then a lower low. Actually, I'll probably adjust that right here. So low, lower low, and that kind of conflicted with the price with the low, higher low, hidden bullish divergence, and the price bounced off of that. So a lot of the indicators that you're going to use when trading, they're lagging. However, I look for these divergences on my oscillators to kind of give me they're more predictive about what's going to happen in the future, right? They're not just based on what has already happened. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to trade, I would definitely learn all about, you know, bullish divergences and bearish divergences, and basically how to see them on your chart, because they're very, very useful. Now, there's one other thing I want to show you here, and you see how I have this downsloping level of resistance drawn on here, and we broke out and retested it. There was another one right here. So if I connect from the top here, move it down, this was a level of resistance that was in play for quite a while, but you can see what happened here. So we had multiple touches on it, 1, 2, 3. We broke out, and as I mentioned, that when you break out, you kind of like come back and retest it. Look, when we broke out of this first downsloping level of resistance, the price was kind of like working within this range between these two diagonal levels of resistance, right? So we came back, retested it. The price was continually retesting this downsloping level of broken resistance as a support, and then ultimately, yeah, we broke out of it, right? So all in all, this does look pretty promising, but I just think this one needs a bit more time, right? Because we need to start closing weekly candles above this 5-cent region, so 0.0547 is the level. So we start closing candle bodies above here. Next range I'm going to target is right up here. And then, of course, same thing applies. If this level breaks, then actually I would probably extend this out a bit. Let me take that down to the daily time frame and get a more accurate yeah, okay, so extend this out. So if we're able to start closing candles above here, this is the next level I target. Beyond that, the next level of resistance is obviously going to be, we see we had this level of support that we broke down. Broken support will oftentimes be resistance on the way up, and that's exactly what's happening on Bitcoin right now. It looks very similar, but yeah, we're coming up, and Bitcoin's getting a lot of resistance basically like around here, right? The broken upsloping level of support from a rising wedge, and that's where Bitcoin's having trouble. So if the same thing happens on a Hedera chart, price comes up here, you can look to this level to be a resistance. If this level breaks, then obviously this one right here is the one I'm going to target. I'm going to take that down to the weekly time frame again, and show you, yeah, right up here. So this right here is likely going to be a pretty strong level of resistance as well. There's going to be short opportunities there, but again, if the price comes up here, it's going to be looking pretty bullish. And of course, I would exercise caution on taking short positions. Make sure once again that you're using a very tight stop loss, and your price target is quite conservative. Okay, guys, I think that about wraps it up for Hedera. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, smash the like button. If you want to get more updates coming into the bull market, I'm sure you want to start paying more attention to what's going on with your favorite coins. I know the last few months has been pretty boring. Even I got bored of making these videos, but now that the market's moving again, it's getting a little bit more exciting. So if you want to get notified when I release these videos, I'm going to try to start being a little bit more consistent with them, maybe 2 or 3 videos every single day. Click subscribe, click the bell, click on all. And yeah, if you want exchanges to trade Hedera and all the other coins I talk about, and you want to get some bonuses for signing up, check out the links for the exchanges in the pinned comment and the description. And if you need a VPN to access them, I put a link to a VPN there as well. All right, guys, take care. Have a good day. Bye.